another extent, they're both actually true. So first of all, in what ways could psychedelics actually give you superpowers? Well, if you understand the term psychic properly, psychic simply refers to the mind, the psyche. So to say somebody has psychic powers really just means that they're a high adept of the mind. And I think as many people are aware, despite how much information about this stuff is withheld from us, and managed to keep occult and esoteric for the sake of protecting the masses, the sheep. As many people will tell you that have experience with these substances, yes, they do give you psychic powers. They actually open up different channels of perception. They connect different dots of reality. They literally promote neurogenesis, or the creation of new neural pathways. So, in a sense, yes, psychedelics do make you psychic. Now, could they make you psychotic? Sure. Let's say you overuse them or abuse them. In this case, you will almost certainly exhibit symptoms of psychosis. And I have personal experience with this as well. And I'm sure, like I said, anyone with experience in these substances will agree with me here. There are moments where you feel like you're going crazy. There's moments where you don't feel like you're going crazy, but the people around you will tell you that you are. I've definitely had both of these types of experiences. I've had experiences where I did see deeper truths, and I've also had just pure hallucinations where I was experiencing paradigms that were simply non-existent outside of my own imagination. The most interesting thing about this subject is the way that the two actually converge. The way that psychic and psychosis might actually be deeply intertwined. I highly suggest looking up the Terence McKenna video about this, the lecture where he talks about schizophrenia, which is essentially the perfect example of what I'm talking about here. Now, the thing about schizophrenia and schizophrenics is that basically, like Terence McKenna said it, there was once a period in time in the past where we would basically just group a bunch of different disorders together. Disorders having to do with depression, sadness. We called it melancholia. And so that's essentially what schizophrenia is as well. Schizophrenia is one of the loosest and most poorly classified disorders, just because of how vague a term it is, how many different cases and exotic and diverse kinds of symptoms have been observed. So, in other words, if you're schizophrenic or exhibiting symptoms of schizophrenia, it doesn't really mean anything specific other than you have a very different and obviously in many cases harmful or maladaptive experiences. But really all it means is that you are experiencing a paradigm of reality that is so different, that is so vividly disconnected from that of the mainstream conception of reality, that the only way to classify you is as schizophrenic. But the interesting thing about this, as Terence McKenna discusses, is that shamans and shamanism classically has had sort of a deep connection to this state of mind. And there's a lot of reason to believe that all shamans throughout history at least those prone to be better at it, more naturals, or schizophrenic. You could also say that psychedelics sort of induce states that resemble schizophrenia. So maybe, you're born with it and you become a shaman because you have these gifts, or you experiment with psychedelics or other medicinal substances and you attain these symptoms. Well, I guess what I'm saying is maybe without the bad side effects, you wouldn't have the good ones. Maybe this sort of schizophrenic and psychotic mindset is the very essence of psychic abilities and these superpowers, and you can't have one without the other. Now, I don't believe this, I'm just proposing it. What I believe more so is that the brain is incredibly plastic, and reality is as well, and thus we can optimize things, and maybe, it's impossible to shrug off all of the negative side effects, but it should theoretically be possible to optimize it and minimize the negative side effects while increasing the positive side effects. So, in other words, to wrap this up, in conclusion, psychedelics, other drugs too, but mostly psychedelics, yes, they give you superpowers, sure. They might not be able to give you access to the parts of your brain where you can throw objects across the room or simply implant a thought in someone's head from a different room just by thinking about it. No, but true psychic abilities really just means being a high adept in the psychic or mental states and fields and context. So you should be able to implant ideas into people's minds just by looking at them in a certain way, or by arranging objects in a room a certain way, through strategy. Now, do they make you psychotic? Sure, yeah, of course they do. And if you abuse them, psychosis is the side effect of the abuse, of an excess of these substances and their powers. So in conclusion, it's very important that when you approach these substances, you do it with the utmost care and respect. They are ultimately among the most sacred objects that exist. So it's crucial, I think, that all of us, as individuals and as a society, come to respect these substances and use them wisely. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you like these videos, please share. Much love. See you next time.